I would like to introduce you to powerful ancient tools and essential concepts of self-realization that will help you create wisdom, develop personal authority over your life, and create permanent change. Knowledge represents your true self, your true mind, and your true relationship with the universe. Knowledge is the deeper spiritual mind that the Creator has given to us. It's the source of all meaningful action, contribution, and relationships. It's our natural inner guidance system. Its reality is mysterious, but its presence can be directly experienced and felt. Knowledge is remarkably effective in guiding you in finding your true relationships, work, and contribution. It's equally effective in preparing you to recognize the many pitfalls and deceptions that exist along the way. It's the basis for seeing, knowing, and acting with certainty and strength. The tools that I will be introducing you today provide a foundation upon which you can begin to respond to this calling. The only entrance requirement is to determination to know your purpose, meaning, and direction. These tools have been used by our ancestors for centuries in order to achieve success and good fortune, and to create balance and perspective. Your life's purpose lies in learning lessons about how to use your positive qualities in order to receive life's greatest rewards, which is prosperity, understanding, and peace of mind. Many ancient texts, including I Ching, the Book of Changes, and many yogic traditions talk about ways to create permanent change. And I'm not talking about the quick fix approaches that are currently widely used in our modern Western society. I'm talking about creating a permanent change when you can't roll back to the old way of being, because the old way of being is inefficient. The definition of evolution is the process by which new species or things develop from pre-existing forms to completely new forms in order to survive. It's a process of mutation which involves continuous upgrade and improvement of the system. This mutation or change is a natural process of evolution. There are two types of change. The first approach to change is when you know there is something about your life that you are not happy with. The assumption is that you can simply go out and change it for the better through learning a skill or getting new information or buying something that would help you solve your problem. This kind of change is the fastest growing business in the world today. People are searching for ways to be happier, thinner, richer, faster, better, and even enlightened. This type of change is based on being anywhere or anything other than where you are right now. It's about getting from the current state A into the improved state B. The second type of change comes out of acceptance. Acceptance in psychology is a person's agreement with the reality of a situation. When a person recognizes a process or condition, a negative or uncomfortable situation, without attempting to change or oppose it. Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual teacher, defines acceptance as "this is it" response to anything occurring in any moment of life. The point of acceptance is allowing yourself to be sad when you feel sad. Be afraid when you feel afraid. Be silly when you feel silly. Be happy when you feel happy. Be judgmental when you feel judgmental. To understand acceptance means allowing unwanted private experiences, such as thoughts, feelings, and urges, to come and go without struggling with them. Acceptance is treating whatever happens, the actual event, as the best outcome. Acceptance also means approval of the current situation and having a non-judgmental mindset. Acceptance is often opposed by resistance. Notions of acceptance are prominent in many religious and meditation practices. For example, Buddhism's first noble truth, all life is suffering, invites people to accept that suffering is a natural part of life. The term Kabbalah literally means acceptance. Many religious groups in society often describe their goals as acceptance. Self-acceptance is being satisfied with your current self. It's an agreement with yourself to appreciate, validate, and support yourself as you are, despite deficiencies and negative past behavior. Most people have trouble accepting themselves because of their past traumas, conditioning, and lack of self-love. Some people have a misconception that if one is happy with themselves, they would not change anything about themselves. The approach of the ego is that individuals cannot be happy with themselves and they have to actively change things they don't like. From the ego perspective, which dominates most of our Western mindset, acceptance doesn't make any sense because it's too easy. By doing nothing, by simply allowing things to be the way they are, a natural change happens without our help. This type of change appears to be totally illogical. It's the only requirement is that you finally give yourself permission to be the way you are. If you can do this, then you accept yourself, accept your health, accept your life situation, accept your irritating mother-in-law. Then you will witness the awesome power of what true acceptance can do for you. The moment you stop trying to change things and allow them to be the way they are, so much energy gets released back into your life. And that will initiate a natural change. That's the domain of this ancient knowledge, to inspire you to begin the journey of self-acceptance. Somewhere along the line, we have forgotten a beautiful truth that is present everywhere in nature, that life itself knows what's best for us. If you have a wound, it heals itself without your help. Everything about you is already perfect and complete. If you find yourself unhappy, accept your unhappiness, and soon you will find yourself happy again. But we're so busy wanting to control our lives that it doesn't occur to us that life itself might know better than us. There are 3 essential tools that I wanted to introduce you to in this program: meditation, concentration, and contemplation. These tools will help you develop self-awareness, and the most important, create permanent, lasting change in your life. Meditation. Meditation is the tool that I highly encourage you to use in this program. When I talk about meditation, I'm referring to more than just a technique. Meditation is a path leading to enlightened spiritual understanding. Meditation is a feminine or yin approach to life. Conversely, meditation is primarily involved with the right brain approach to life. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation is represented by the word vipassana, which can be translated as deep seeing. This kind of meditation is based on waiting, listening, watching, witnessing, and allowing. This also correlates with ancient spirit of Tantra, which is based on an embracing view of the universe. From the perspective of the self-understanding, meditation is a path in which you simply go along with whatever is emerging in your life. You don't resist your nature. Even if you forgot something, it's still perfect. If you're angry, impatient, worried, or any other negative state, it's a part of the acceptance of reality and its imperfect state. If we use a simple metaphor of life as a river, in meditation, your awareness is just sitting quietly beside the river. You're just sitting there, watching life go by, and slowly, over time, as you learn how to observe without judgment, or even with judgment, your inner awareness begins to become conscious of itself inside of you. And as this awareness deepens within you, you're able to let go even more of trying to control things and allow the flow of life. This is the path of deep trust in life itself, and it's a path of effortless way of being. Meditation helps you become aware of what is already true, moment by moment. I could say that it teaches you how to be unconditionally present. It helps you be present with whatever is happening, no matter what it is. On one hand, suffering lies in being more aware of our inherent weaknesses. Meditation is a way to uncover sanity and to alleviate suffering by going more deeply into the present moment and into yourself as you already are, not by trying to change what is already going on. The sitting practice of meditation gives us exactly this opportunity to become more present with ourselves just as we are. This in turn shows us glimpses of our inherent wisdom and teaches us how to stop the cycle of the unnecessary suffering that results from trying to escape the discomfort and even pain we experience as a consequence of being alive. Buddha teaches us that source of suffering is our attempt to escape from our direct experience. First, we cause ourselves suffering by trying to get away from pain and attempting to hold on to pleasure. Unfortunately, instead of quieting our suffering, this strategy has the opposite effect. Instead of making us happier, it causes us to suffer. We cause suffering when we try to take a false identity. Meditation and non-judgmental attention to the details of your experience as it arises and subsides doesn't reject anything. Instead of struggling to get away from experiences you find difficult, you practice being able to be with them. Equally, you can bring mindfulness to pleasant experiences as well. Surprisingly, many times we have a hard time staying simply present with happiness. we turn it into something more familiar to us, like worrying that it will not last or trying to keep it from fading away. When we are mindful, we show up for our lives. We don't miss them in being distracted or in wishing for things to be different. Instead, if something needs to be changed, we're present enough to understand what needs to be done. The more mindful you are, the more skillful you can be in compassionate actions. So how do you actually practice mindful meditation? There are 3 basic parts in the meditation technique: the body, the breath, and the thoughts. First, we relate to the body. This includes how we set up our environment. Very few people can dedicate a whole room for their meditation practice, so they choose a corner of the room or a spot in their home where they can set up a quiet space. You may want to light candles or incense to clear the space, but you can also have a plain wall in front of you. As long as you're not sitting in front of something distracting, like the TV or the desk where you have your computer. Once you've picked your spot, you need to choose a seat. It's fine to sit either on a cushion or on the floor or on a chair. If you choose a cushion, you can use one designated for meditation practice, or you can use a folded blanket or some other kind of cushion or low bench. If you choose to sit on the chair, pick one that has the flat seat that doesn't tilt too much toward the back. If you're short like me, you will want to put something on the floor for your feet to rest on. If you're very tall, make sure that your hips are higher than the knees, either on the chair or on a cushion. Once you have your seat and your spot, go ahead and sit down. Take a posture that is upright but not rigid or stiff. The back is straight with a curve in the lower back. Sitting on a cushion, cross your legs comfortably in front of you. There is no need to force yourself into a comfortable posture. Just simply cross your legs as you might have done as a child. Hands are resting on your thighs, facing down. The eyes can be closed or open, and the gaze is resting gently on the floor in front of you, about 4 to 6 feet away. If you're closer to the wall, let your gaze rest on the wall wherever it lands. The gaze is lightly focused. Don't stare or do anything special with your gaze. Just let it rest where you have set it. Begin by just sitting in the posture for a few minutes in this environment. If your attention wanders, just gently bring it back to your body and the environment. The key word here is gently. Your mind will naturally wander. That's a part of what you will notice when you become mindful. Minds wander. When you notice that your mind is wandering, come back again to your body and environment. The second part of the practice is working with your breath. In this practice, rest your attention lightly, yes, very lightly, on your breath. Feel it as it comes into your body and as it goes out. There is no special way to breathe in this specific technique. Remember, you are interested in how you already are, not how you are if you manipulate your breath. If you find that you are, in fact, controlling your breath in some way, just let it be that way. It's a bit tricky to try to be natural on purpose. Sit for a few minutes with the posture and the environment and with your breath, in and out, in and out. The rest of your attention is naturally will be on your body and the environment. Finally, the last part of the practice is working with your thoughts. You will notice the thoughts arise. You notice that there are many thoughts, overlapping one over the next. Memories, plans for the future, fantasies, or pictures from the TV commercials. There may seem to be the gaps in which you can catch glimpses of your breath. That's not uncommon, especially if you're new to meditation. Just notice what happens. When you notice that you're so caught up with your thoughts that you have forgotten that you're sitting in the room, just gently bring yourself back to your breath. You can mentally say, thinking to yourself as the further reminder of what just happened. This labeling is not a judgment. It's a neutral observation. I like to think of it as a kind of a weather report. Thinking has just been observed in the vicinity. How long should you practice? If you are new to this technique, try to sit for 10 to 15 minutes and gradually increase to 20 to 30 minutes. Eventually, you could extend it to 45 minutes or an hour. If you want to meditate longer, you may want to learn how to do walking meditation combined with contemplation technique. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, remember that mindful meditation is about practicing being mindful and conscious about your unconscious processes, such as the flow of your blood, your heartbeat, or your breathing. It's not about getting yourself into stop thinking. I want to repeat that. It's not about getting yourself to stop thinking. It's easy to fall into believing that that is the goal. Many people have a mistaken idea that becoming blank is the goal of meditation. So once again, if you find you're thinking, and you will, include it into what you notice. Don't try to get rid of your thoughts. It will not work. And it's an opposite of the spirit of this practice. The goal of meditation is trying to be with yourself as you already are, not trying to change yourself into some preconceived notion of how you should be. Concentration. Concentration is the opposite end of the spectrum from meditation. Concentration is the left-hand path, the path of effort. The right-hand path is rooted in the left hemisphere of the brain, which is the logical brain that sees the world as a process of questioning everything. And answers to these questions can be fulfilled in stages over time. Concentration correlates to yoga. Yoga begins with the assumption that somehow you're falling out of union. So you take on this path of yoga and you begin to work to bring yourself back to union. Concentration requires efforts. And in the Western world, effort has been always emphasized. For example, prayer, which is the path of connecting to God. An Eastern example of this approach is Zen. In Zen, you sit and concentrate your mind and your full being on something or on a paradox. Finally, through that concentration, which may take years and years of effort, you break through and see the true nature of reality. There are many types of yoga. There is karma yoga, there is bhakti yoga, there is mantra yoga, there is integral yoga. All of their efforts move toward truth. You can concentrate on an object, such as a candle, or you can concentrate on your breathing. You can concentrate or focus on your body, on specific body parts, which is used by the most yogic traditions. Yoga Nidra, for example, is one of these practices. Contemplation. Another essential technique that I wanted to introduce you to is contemplation. Contemplation integrates the entire spectrum of self-awareness. It's a very important practice that I wanted to clarify for you because it carries different meanings within different languages and cultures. Contemplation is a blend of meditation and concentration. It's important to fully understand their relationship. We call contemplation a no-hand path. It uses elements from both meditation and concentration. And when you fully understand what it means to contemplate on something, then you start practicing it. You will realize that it's less extreme path than the other two, and it's better and more practical for our modern everyday lives. Contemplation uses the pressure of concentration in order to create the conditions for a breakthrough to occur. Contemplation is a more gentle approach to concentration. It doesn't push too hard in any direction. An essential part for you to understand about contemplation is that it's a state in which a breakthrough can only happen when you're in a state of relaxation and play. There is a well-known story about the Buddha over here in the musical plane. The man said, if you lighten the string of your instrument too far, it will snag. But if you have it too slack, it will not play music. So out of this story, the middle way or balance was born. Contemplation is a dance or a balance with two opposites. It uses sustained pressure, but in a more playful way, and it also makes it less formal path than concentration or meditation techniques. Imagine a small ring case, such as you might find in expensive jewelry stores. The case is covered in luxurious velvet, and somewhere inside this case, there is a mysterious beauty that is hidden. You take the case in your hands and you roll it gently through your fingers. You don't know what you're looking for, but you just enjoy the feeling of the soft velvet while you allow your fingers to explore this case. At some point, you find the hidden catch, and all of a sudden, the case opens to reveal the treasure. Contemplation is just like that. It's not an intense search, but it's a playful appreciation of mystery. It's an enjoyment of the journey itself, as much as the breakthrough along the way. The key in contemplation is to have an object to contemplate. In order to sustain your practice, you need an object with some dimensions. To some people, contemplation may sound like a mental effort, and at some level it is. We all use our minds to decode the mysteries of the universe, but we also use other aspects of our being at the same time. We can contemplate mentally, we can contemplate emotionally or physically when we engage all of our awareness centers. We have the ajna center, which is our mental awareness. We have the splenic center, which is our intuitive awareness. And we also have the solar plexus. It's our emotional awareness. So you can utilize all these awareness centers to make sense of the universe. You can contemplate while you're driving, while you're washing dishes, while doing your house chores. You can contemplate in bed while falling asleep or when you are waking up. It's easy, it's playful, and relaxed state where your body, your mind, and your emotions are focused on a single object. You focus all your attention on the object of your contemplation. For example, when we start discussing the energies of the gate 1, which is the gate of the G center, the shadow of this gate is entropy, the gift is freshness, and the essence is beauty. And as an assignment, you would contemplate on each of these frequencies and allow yourself to experience their presence in your life. How the energy of entropy being expressed in your body or in your life. What does freshness mean to you? What is beauty, and how do you experience beauty in your life? Contemplation requires a deep sense of elegance, patience, and softness. Deep insight never reveals itself to a grasping, unsettled mind. Contemplation is an art. It teaches you about pausing and moving slowly. Richard Rudd talks about the mind becoming like water. When the mind is at ease, the truth ripples all around you. In the faces of those you love, you become in harmony with the world around you, where all is well. Contemplation is best performed in a state of deep relaxation. As Richard says, true intelligence is activated through the patience and softness of the heart, and only later confirmed by the mind. Here, you need to be a lover of mystery with a beginner's mind, rather than arriving as an expert determined to solve a problem. I hope you practice these techniques and enjoy your contemplations throughout this program. May these practices inspire you and shine the truth to what lies within your heart. Namaste.